Hi, we're Ed and Barry Lounsbury. We've been active members of Colonial Church since 1979 when we moved to Minneapolis. Involved in everything from being Sunday school teachers all the way up to most recently senior deacons. And I had the privilege of being on a couple of pastoral search committees and served as moderator at one point. So yes, we've been very involved. And in all those years, we have to say that I think we both think that this is one of the most exciting things we've seen come out of the Colonial Church. The blessing initiative and the generosity that represents is an awesome thing. We're so proud of the church and happy to be part of it. So thank you.
Well, that's very interesting because the story really begins with the Berry Patch, which is a preschool that was started in our home in Edina 37 years ago. And as Ed retired ahead of me, it was sort of hard to let go. Ed and I had numerous conversations 10, 12 years ago about the city of Minneapolis. What about the children in the city? Were they experiencing quality programs like the children in the suburbs were? Well, through doing a little research, we learned from a few different schools, elementary schools, that often children were starting kindergarten with very little preschool background or none at all. And consequently, were already behind as they stepped into kindergarten, emotionally, socially, and academically. So that begged the question, how can we help? What can we do? All these years of serving the children in the suburbs. Statistics show that the most important developmental years is birth through age 5. So that becomes really important to determine what kind of program best fits that age group. I received, interestingly, a phone call from 2 people from Calvary Baptist Church, and they were visiting preschools in the suburbs and wanted to visit the Berry Patch. Well, we had an engaging conversation, and through that, I learned that they were interested in starting a program at their church. So, as we move forward, we had a great fun celebration of 30 years of the Berry Patch at Colonial, and that evening we announced the launching of Whittier Wildflowers Preschool, a nonprofit partnership, a 3-year partnership between the Berry Patch and Calvary Church. Well, we used the Berry Patch curriculum, and so the 3 years was up 3 years ago, and for 3 years, they have been operating on their own, doing an excellent job. God is the heartbeat of the program while welcoming all faiths. There are many different faiths at Whittier Wildflowers. Love abounds. The children, as well as the parents, are learning and growing. The parents gather for coffee time where they're encouraging one another. A wonderful idea that Ann started are the family fun nights, where it's a potluck. And you can imagine with this diverse community, the wonderful ethnic food that is there. It's probably the best potluck you could go to. And so there are activities for the children, and then always a licensed parent educator, Becky Danielson, offers parenting tips. So the parents are learning right along with their children. It takes a village to raise a child, and a beautiful community has been established at Whittier Wildflowers. WWP is helping close the gap. Period.
We believe that Whittier Wildflowers is an excellent preschool serving the families of the Whittier neighborhood. By design, it is a diverse student enrollment, socioeconomically, culturally, and different faith backgrounds. The tuition is a fair share based model where each family pays a portion of the tuition, as little as $30 to $40 a month. That covers roughly 50 to 60% of the operating budget. Currently, there are 2 classrooms, and the dream is to add a 3rd classroom by taking one of the large classrooms, dividing it off, and opening a wall that goes to the current office, creating a 3rd classroom, thereby being able to serve more children. Through the Blessing Initiative, we think this dream is going to come true, and we're very excited about that, mainly to offer the school to more and more children in the neighborhood. Our big dream is that every child would have the opportunity to have a quality preschool education before entering school. So that's the big dream.
There are endless possibilities. And just to name a few, grant writing assistance. Anne has done some grant writing. It's very time consuming, and she really has her hands full as the director and a teacher a couple of times a week. So assistance with that could be great. Fundraising coaching. That is going to be an ongoing need, we believe, Ed and I believe, for Whittier because of the choice of the tuition, the fair share tuition model, which doesn't cover all of the operating budget. So that would be a great thing. Back to school workday, where you're washing the toys and getting everything ready for the start of the new school year. Classroom volunteers, and one thing that will be important is that the volunteers receive training specifically meant for the diverse population of the student enrollment. That's going to be a really important thing, because life in the city is very different than life in the suburbs. Helping with special events, if there's a special event, maybe participating in the family fun nights. And then, of course, the construction, the demolition, the building, just to name a few. And it's sort of endless, as I mentioned, so many other opportunities.
If we were blessed with a bonus, the number one priority beyond the construction is to hire culturally diverse staff that the children can relate to. That's very important. Then also we want to enhance the current classrooms by adding equipment and supplies, and of course supplying the new classroom with quality equipment. And then offering enrichment opportunities, providing field trips, and expanding the science and math programs to further enrich each of the child's experiences. So there are many other things that are not able to be done because of limited funds that with a bonus would allow. So if you do that, great, thank you.
We are so excited to have this opportunity for Whittier Wildflowers, and we look forward to hearing from all of you and different ways that you could help come alongside in this new partnership. Thank you, Colonial.
Thank you for coming alongside Whittier Wildflowers Preschool as we strive to close the educational gap for children in the city of Minneapolis. Thank you very much.